What up, world? Welcome to episode 9 of DeLaRadio with your host, the one and only Della Hart. And today we got my special guest, my boys, the one and only. It's a matter of time with Miel and Tao.
Yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing, guys?
We're doing
good.
good.
Doing good. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about sound is vibration. Sound is vibration. A little bit about how I know Miel and Tao. I actually grew up with Miel. He used to live actually down the street from me a little bit. And I always been seeing that, he's been hanging out with Tao.
Yeah.
And he has been going hiking, right?
Yeah.
Doing a lot of hiking. And I was just getting the right people, trying to make some moves, talk about, some really big things, right?
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
You want to touch in a little bit on that, Mike?
Yeah, so he came to me, he's like, hey, I like what you guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you guys to appear on the, do a special appearance. And I'm like, yeah, I'm down, And then as soon as he told me he wanted to do it on a house mix, I was
doing the house mix.
right. That like house music has a special art, like a place in my heart.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how like it's something else. Like for me, when I listen to house music, it's like I feel this feeling, the spiritual feeling. And I know a lot of people have heard that saying. It's a spiritual thing, and that's like a cut and a sample that they use throughout the music over and over and over again. Is because it's definitely fucking true. Like every time I see whatever artist it is, I get that feeling. So when he came to me and was like, dude, I want you to come on this house mix to do this talk on what like sound is vibration, how sound music affects our vibrations or frequency and energy. I was like, you know what, I'm totally in to do this. And I know you were excited to do this.
Yeah. So like I think I'm like the oldest one. So like
that's how you feel.
Yeah. I feel great. Look great. So it's all good. But like house music actually was introduced to me in high school back in 98.
You old as fuck.
And so that's when it was introduced to me. And I was very young, and that before it was called EDM and techno and all that stuff. And so so that's, and then house is what it was my gateway to like experience the rave culture back then. Mm-hmm. And so we were part of that, and it was when it was all age. And it was like the best experience. I mean, like, I'm still, friends, with people that we used to rave together.
Exactly.
And
those connections.
Yeah, the connections, and it's all connection from started from house music.
Yeah.
Right? And then we got to, throughout the years, obviously we got to see it evolve into all these other genres. And stuff like that. So
I think for me, house music, and I love about one of the things I love about the radio show is really gotten me to touch back into sounds that I you get into phases of music, right?
Yeah.
You start listening to certain songs, certain genres. I don't know if you remember, right? I used to DJ at the clubs, right? And I used to go watch it. Yeah, I used to go play over there, And I got away from it a little bit just because it's I don't know, it's kind of got a little repetition for me. But honestly, when I say that, I mean like all like the different EDM genres, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But house has always had a piece, in my heart,
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I started, it always started with, house music because it's just those BPMs, right?
Yeah,
so 120 to 125, right?
Yeah.
And it gets you, up and going, without being too crazy. So I think that's the, house music has really been, that's the reason why I wanted to use this one with sound and vibrations.
Yeah.
Because it has those BPMs and those hertz.
Yeah. And I think it's like EDM is like, it's dope. Like when the EDM came out, that's kind of when we kind of like, I myself and my friends, we kind of shifted away from the music, like
hip hop.
Like we just started to, like we shifted away from like the culture. Like we're just like, okay, this is a little too quick for us. Like it's cool, some of it, but then when you hear it all the time,
yeah, it gets repetitive.
Right. So that's why bringing it back to house is like
it
perfect.
hits the spot. Like the BPMs is perfect, man, because there's deep house. There's tech house. There's so many. There's garage house.
Yes.
There's house that's infused with gospel, with blues, jazz,
and that's what has a lot of the soul of it.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of the, it's like hip hop when you sample, right?
Exactly.
You get these, these sounds from the past, and you bring them back, right, with new beats and new BPMs, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get a lot lot of the disco sound too in house is because what people don't realize is
can't forget about disco, right?
Electronic EDM came out of fucking disco.
Yeah,
disco, it didn't even exist or came about. We wouldn't have house music, or a lot of the music that we have now. And I want to just kind of give people a little bit of history about house music. House music came about in Chicago in the underground scene. So this was that counterculture at that time. And so at that time, they didn't want to play house in any club. So it started in the gay clubs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little background history. But yet again, like black culture had a lot to do with house because it was like one of the main DJs who the godfather of house, whose name was Frankie Knuckles. He was African American, and he was one of the DJs who was one of the frontiers, one of the pioneers of house music. Yeah, so just a little background on house music and a little history, just so you can have a little more appreciation. And always go to your roots, man. You always go to your roots. Appreciate your roots.
Definitely. That's some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Some good stuff, guys. Definitely, yeah. So, I mean, I know that we were going to talk about, certain sounds, right?
Yeah.
Besides house, about hertz and, certain, hums and, basically the vibration that comes with sound.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike?
So, I'm really into that. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So, we're actually going to, before we even get into that, we're actually going to define what sound is.
Thank you.
Sound is pronounced. I found the definition is sound is produced by continuous and regular vibrations.
Okay.
And then the next thing I want to define for you is what is frequency, and this is a definition in regards to kind of related to physics is the rate at which a vibration occurs that constitutes a wave, either in material as in sound waves or an electromagnetic field as in radio waves and light, usually measured per second. Now, before I even get further and kind of delve into, what frequency, how frequency and sound play, a role in all of this that we're talking about, is I want to quote Nikola Tesla.
Okay.
So this guy was a fucking genius because he was one of the people who was like was at that time he was way ahead of his time. Right.
And the ironic thing about that is that I've been hearing a lot about him this week. So I was like, all right, universe, all right.
Right?
So
the universe to you, right?
Yeah, I was like, Mikey's been talking about this guy. And I was like, it's popping up. It keeps popping up everywhere. I was like, okay.
So Nikola Tesla stated, he quoted that if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Wow. Yeah. So before we get even further into this episode, I want you guys just think about get rid of any preconceptions that you have about what reality really is.
Okay.
Physical reality. Because it's not as what we think it is. Mm-hmm. When we think about physical reality, we gotta think in terms of what he said, energy, frequency, and vibration, because everything has an energy. Everything's giving off energy, everything's giving off frequency and a vibration. Mm-hmm. So I kind of want to, so there's a story that is said that back in the days, Egyptians, the way they got to move certain heavy objects that you think about monoliths that are fucking 60 tons, heavy as shit.
Stones.
Yeah. Stones. Like,
we're all still sitting here like trying to figure out.
Yeah,
we're trying to
I was just watching that on Ancient
See, there we go.
Not to cut you up, but there was this thing where some guy was like, they're like, how did he move? He created like a rock park or something like that. Yeah. And they're like, how did he do it? And they said he had a box, whatever. But like, some of the things that they touched on was that there was something about like they heard a noise.
Yeah.
Or like a frequency, a vibration.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you say that. Yeah. So I want you to keep in mind, like, think about that question. How were the Egyptians able to move these fucking heavy ass monoliths at that time? Yeah. So I'm going to kind of take a step back and tell you a story to answer that question. Okay. So Nikola Tesla, back in the days, he had this machine that could generate frequency. And so he was like, you know what? What if, I'm going to try to get this machine to put out a frequency that matches a building. Okay. So that the building was giving off a certain frequency and certain energy. He's like, I'm going to mask the machine so it's giving off the same frequency. So as he was doing it, it got to the point where in the room, fucking objects were lifting off the ground. Wow. And they're like levitating type shit. Yeah. And he was like, and shit started to get crazy, moving all over the room. He's like, I better turn it off before something happens, before this experiment goes completely wrong. And so he turned it off. And then the most, I think, mind-blowing and ironic thing happened. So after he turned it off, he later found out that there was an earthquake at the same time that this was all going on. He never told the authorities because obviously he caused it. He caused it. Exactly. He caused it.
He's like, shit, I'll get busted.
Exactly. He caused it. So now going back to the Egyptians is to answer that question. It is said to believe that the way they were able to move these heavy ass fucking stones and shit was they used frequency to move these heavy objects.
Damn.
And that's fucking crazy. Yes. And now just think about just take it fast forward here to modern day society, and right now is we use frequency treatments. And what I mean by that is we use ultrasound, which is commonly used in modern medicine to reduce swelling, inflammation. And with recent breakthroughs in using ultrasound, they actually use ultrasound. I don't know if you heard of this, to break kidney stones.
Yeah. So they don't cut through.
Yeah.
So it's a non-surgery procedure.
Yeah.
So exactly. So imagine that. It's okay. So there's something to it.
Exactly.
If we're using it now, we're all using it now. There's even like we had talked about yesterday. And I'm sure we'll probably touch on that later. But also about weapons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so
they use it. There's certain type of weapons that obviously the government or the army, whatever
they have
military,
have to
break rockets and and even certain type of lasers, but it's because they it's like tuning a guitar, right? It's like tuning sound, right? And creating a frequency or creating that vibration. You put something to a certain pitch or certain something. Right. Why do certain sounds our ears, right? Our ears. Why does it certain sounds some of the sounds we can't even hear, right? Dogs can only hear sounds, right?
Exactly.
And then those high pitched sounds that we hear that are so or that ringing noise, stuff like that. So it messes with your mind and your brain waves is what it is, It's a form of torture when you're hearing certain sounds, and it's just it's because your brain waves, right? Your waves and everything that's going on in your brain, and then now you're putting a force, which is you can't see sound.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Right? But if you have a sound whatever weapon that we're talking about, and you point it at someone,
it's directly
at you. And now it's hitting your temple, your brain waves, and it gets you all discombobulated.
Yes. And I'm glad that you pointed that out, because even nowadays with so much radiation and so much shit with your fucking phone, you got these 5G towers, and all this shit that's putting out frequency. That frequency disrupts our frequency and the frequency in our connection to how we communicate with everything else around us.
Yeah,
it disrupts that, and so that's why you have so much illness and sicknesses coming out nowadays. People are getting tumors. Diseases and shit like that, is because you're basically disrupting with the frequencies that these devices are putting out that we think are good for us. And obviously, we have some tool. We utilize them to do awesome things, but at the same time, it's it's at what cost? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's something to it. Right?
There's more to it that I feel like a lot of people aren't aware.
Yeah.
Or they are, they just don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a lot of what you want to believe and what the world's gonna kind of tell you to believe.
Exactly.
When you say illness, bro, I think besides physical and body illness, mental illness.
Exactly. A lot of mental health. Exactly.
That's one of the biggest things right now, and not to touch too much into it, because that's a whole other conversation.
It's a whole other conversation.
Another episode, but like you said, having these always with us, always to our head, and maybe it is messing with our brainwaves and what we're thinking, how we think, and causing cancer and tumors that are making us act even more, different or indifferent and things of that nature. That's some crazy stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up, and this is, I highly recommend everyone to do this, because I even do this myself. Is do a detox from your fucking phone, from technology.
Yeah,
I don't even have a TV in my room no more.
Right.
Because I don't want to watch TV.
Yeah, I know.
I take that shit out. I don't have a TV in my room. A lot of people think what the fuck you have a TV in?
I still
okay, man, but I don't have a TV in my room. And then I take a detox. There's days where I go 3-4 days without social media and just take a break from it. I highly recommend you do that. You do that, guys. Get in touch with yourself with that. And then with that being said, we want to talk about more into our experience with music. And how music can be used as a tool to heal ourselves
in a good way.
In a good
way.
You know, we talked all about what it can do.
What it can do, exactly.
All those big words, but there's so much more positive.
Right, exactly.
The flip side.
Yeah, exactly. And like I know, me and him, we had a conversation as we were talking about what ideas we want to throw in this video.
Yeah.
And then you know what, we should talk about like our experiences with music. And we're talking about when I first experienced rave, it completely changed my life.
Yeah.
Because it was something else. It's like literally, you're listening to someone like the dopest music, and not only are you getting the vibration from the crowd, but you're getting the vibration from like the speakers, the music that the DJ's playing, and the DJ himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's so many elements that come into play, and it's like it was me experiencing like this new culture. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where everyone was plurred, which means peace, love, unity, respect.
Yeah.
Back in the days, you would like exchange candy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It was like such a beautiful thing because everyone was so kind and so compassionate, man. They welcomed you with open arms.
I could sit back and I could vividly remember the time when that hit. Like my first rave was EDC back in the day when it was here.
Yeah.
I remember exactly where I was. Yeah. I remember exactly what I had on. And then when I
hope you remember.
I mean, after that, I have pictures to remember. And it was, no, they didn't have music back then. Thanks, Taylor, thanks. But I remember vividly, like, I was with my best friend, and we were with a whole bunch of strangers, and then when the beat hit, and all I remember is looking up and staring at like everyone in the crowd. We were all staring at us, our hands up, and we were just like throwing back energy, giving it back to me. And it got me goosebumps right now. Because and I remember that stuff, and then I was like, "What is this?" Like, and I was like, "I love this." It was like all love. Everyone was just high fiving, hugging each other, and just like vibing. Everyone was on the same vibe.
Same frequency.
And that was vibing the same. It was beautiful, dude. And then it was just like I'm hooked.
And it's crazy how on when we hang out with people and you're playing music, we're all on the same vibe.
Yeah.
And now think about that on like at a rave or like a concert.
Yes.
Now it's a controlled environment or environment, with like sound.
Yes.
And then like you said, like how you just mentioned, like you're pushing back with, if we have energy.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
that energy
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
That's the whole
crowd.
Hand, yes. Like the
Crazy,
whole hand, like the hand goes. It's like you're just giving and then you're receiving as well. So
that's crazy.
And it's even like we were even talking about too, like even in church, like you go to worship and gossip. You get when you pray praising God, whatever religion you are. You're communing with a group of people, a community, and during that time, it's like you're all on the same energy and frequency. And you're giving that energy off, and it's something so beautiful. I know, like you wanted to kind of expand on that.
So like, for me, like I was going through like a time. I was living in LA, and I was going through a time, and the only time it was a health issue, and so it kept me up all the time. And so what I felt that kept me going or got me through that time was because I would wake up in the middle of the night and everything, and so I would put on like gospel music, Fred Hammond, like the old school praise and worship, and it really like healed me. Like it's healing, and so that's why when I do go to church, I do love to sit there and listen to praise and worship because I like to receive. It's the healing. There's healing factors probably to it. And so, so like that's, to me, like, I forever would be like, I will go to it. So like if I'm going through something even now or something, I'm like, let me just go put that on. I know we all go through that, right?
Of course.
We have a song, we have a few songs maybe, something that we'll go back to just to kind of sit back and like,
and listen to it, and it'll make you feel in that, it'll make you feel those feelings again, right? Those good feelings, or whatever feeling you want to feel. Exactly. I think for me, is music is always been there for me. For me, I know we've all gone through, our things that we've gone through growing up, but like. It's just something that I could always just put it on and relate to, right? The soundtrack to my life, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right? Like. It's even crazy sometimes, and it's part of like maybe how the universe works is whenever I'm going through a certain song, there's a certain song that comes out, and it's exactly what I need to hear.
Exactly.
A big role model of mine, hip hop game aside from house is Atmosphere. Atmosphere, a lot of lyrics, a lot of beats, and stuff, and just helping me get through life, and through someone else's life, you know.
Exactly.
So
Is that what got you to DJ? Like what made you? Yeah.
to make me DJ. I mean, everyone has their own library, right?
Yeah.
I've always collected from like I'm a music lover, right? I've always collected my own music. What really got me to do it was I went to this club when I was like 18 or so. And then the DJ just kept playing the same tracks.
Yeah.
The same tracks, man. And I was just like, oh my God, this is the third time. And I'm just like, and I mean, it wasn't no club in LA. It was just like, I mean, well, I was barely 18, probably not even 18, bro. I was probably like 17, out and about, you know? But it was just like, you know what? Like, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do that. I have my own library. I'm confident enough in myself to like play music and for people because I know I like it. And there's so many people. This is something I always say to this day, right? I make with my genre with my radio show I have a lot of different genres, you know, and I don't care like if some people may not like. Oh, it's not. I'm gonna go out music, or you know, or this one is, you know. It's because everyone likes a certain something. There's too many humans in this world for no one to like this genre, you know, or this genre, you know, like or how not even just how many people, but how you're feeling that day. What are you doing? Why are you putting on this type of music when you want to go and clean or when you want to go, you know, read a book, you know, or when you want to meditate. You know what I'm saying? Why is there certain sounds that help you when you meditate too?
And we're actually going to that. And we were talking about this yesterday, how like certain genres of music make you feel some fucking type of way. And so like kind of to explain that, just think about like death metal or, you know, rock, heavy metal, all that shit is like thrasher music. You know, when you go to concerts, like, they're going buck wild, fucking do mosh pits. It brings out like the aggression, anger in us. And then if you think about like R&B, it's a little bit more slowed down, more relaxed, chill, like
wine.
Exactly. Couple up,
you know. And then house music is more like an elevated type of feel. It's almost like you get this natural high and ecstasy. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about that, like you really like when I still to this day when I go to like house shows, I get this natural fucking high where like I'm there and I'm just like really like from like grin to grin. Dude, like I have this big ass grin on my face because I'm just so happy to be there because you just get this elated feeling inside of you.
You know what's so interesting, bro? One of the hikes, because we all have, you know, we brought up our hikes. One of the hikes that we went driving to, it was like, you know, we get up but early in the morning and start driving. And I didn't even think to listen to house, but he puts it on the way to the thing. And I'm in the back, you know, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden I'm all like, he's putting the house music. I was like, I didn't think to even listen to house music on the way to a hike, you know. And I was just kind of like, it pumped me up. I was just kind of like, I was like, it woke me up, and I was like,
a lot of those sounds too, like in like going into like deep house and stuff. Too, you know, it makes you feel like you're going somewhere. And if you think about it too, right? When you're in the club, when you're in a rave, you know, don't you find yourself closing your eyes? Right?
All the time.
And going somewhere, right? So like how you're saying, you know, it gives you that uplifting, that, you know, it takes you somewhere. You know,
even when
it
you're
takes you out of
you
your body.
you like,
You
close your eyes.
Dancing like this. You really dancing, right?
It's crazy. So to explain like why, so if you think about like classical music, you know what I'm saying, like when you listen to classical music and jazz, it's like it gives you like a calm state, like it makes you like you can do your homework to it, you can do whatever the fuck you want to. And so so there's this guy named Giuseppe Verdi. He's a famous Italian composer, and also many other musicians like Mozart tuned their music to this frequency, which is 432 hertz. They tuned their music to this frequency because it said it contained feel-good properties that resonated with the audience, with people. And basically what 432 hertz frequency range is basically is the vibration and the frequency of the earth that the earth gives off and everything. Okay? And it is said that 43 hertz is the earth's heartbeat and vibration.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
It's a strong words right there.
It's strong words. Strong words. So like I know if you ever heard like binaural beats or like sound baths and shit like that. If there's like certain frequencies that you can send out or tune into that will tap into each energy center or different parts in your body. That can help you heal. That can help heal you. Help release some kind of like energy that you have held up in your kind of like that's blocked. like blocking you from progressing or manifesting yourself.
Okay.
And I know you want to get into that, right?
So like. No, like so. I was reading an article. I wanted just to say this article. This article is by Alex Cross. This is back in 2018.
Yeah.
It's off the Global News. So yes. So 432 hertz is exactly the sound with the Earth gives off. But then there's also the other one, which is actually the one that also now is like it's universal now.
Yeah.
It's 440 hertz.
Yes.
And so which is it's mainly now it's mostly in our music, the West, what they call the music of the West. And so now everything is tuned to that hertz. And so that's why when you have a piano, say for instance in Canada, it's all tuned the same one. They all sound the same in China. So everyone has to tune to this. And so the interesting thing is, so I kind of want to, okay, just like, bear with me, okay, just real quick. I wanted to bring up the 432 hertz versus the 440 hertz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we know the 432 is from the Earth, and 440 is
man.
It's man. It's
man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you want to read that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually found this in an article.
Yes.
It basically says that he's talking about the 440 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
So the American Federation of Music accepted 440 hertz as the standard pitch in 1917, and it became a worldwide standard by 1953.
Okay.
Yeah.
Many believe
Yes.
it hasn't. So the reason why they
Allegedly
discredit this or whatever, allegedly they're saying that 400. So there's some people, including like the people we mentioned, the musicians.
Yeah.
They believe that 432 hertz is a harmonic sound, and it's up on 432 hertz, as we were stating, is basically the frequency range, which is referred to as Earth's heartbeat or vibration.
432. Yeah.
432. And think for a moment, like about all the frequencies that travel in the air now, from your cell phones, your Wi-Fi, 5G radio, and microwaves, how that all has that affect us. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit has happened. It basically emits artificial electromagnetic radiation, which have been linked to cancer, depression, insomnia, and even miscarriages as well. Yeah. So with that being said, there was this guy, a famous Italian composer named Giuseppe Verdi, and I think musicians like composer, like Mozart, tuned their music to this frequency, 432 hertz, because they said it contained feel-good properties that resonated with the audience. So back in 1917, the American Federation of Musicians accepted 440 hertz as the standard pitch in music.
Okay. So we have the 432,
Yeah.
which is they consider the Earth, the sound of the Earth,
Yeah.
or like healing and stuff like that. And then we have now what we are standard, what we tune everything to, right, is to the 440 hertz.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what basically they say is 400. What they say, what some researchers and scientists have said, or they believe that 440 hertz frequency is disharmonic with our energy and frequency that we give off. Okay, and so after that, there was a researcher named Jamie Butter who looked into the recordings of Tibetan singing bowls and found that they were tuned to 432 hertz. And then later, there was another international researcher and musician, Ananda Bosman. She found and unearthed instruments they belonged to Egyptians and Greeks, and they were also tuned to 432 hertz.
So they already knew that, or like they found that that sound, that pitch, 432. Maybe they didn't even know it was like right hertz, right? But like I guess by your ear being trained, right, or how they could hear that pitch and that sound, they knew that that's
healing.
Yeah.
432. 432.
You would say that their body kind of told them that it was the right frequency, right, or hertz.
Exactly, because you gotta think your body as a fucking magnet.
Yeah.
Like you're constantly either giving energy or you're giving and taking energy. Then that's why they say you got to be careful. Who you surround yourself with, because you're exchanging energy with those people.
Yeah.
And there's things there's people who are energy vampires who just want to fucking take your energy because they don't have it.
True.
They feed off your energy. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to be careful who you keep in your circle. You know what I'm saying? Be very conscious and be very self-aware. And this is like one thing I've learned within like the last couple of years is like being very aware of how I feel around certain people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people like, even though they may be long-term friends, and maybe you never really paid attention to, but like they make you feel a certain type of way, and it may be negative.
That's what I say.
True.
Feel the vibe. When you
Feel the
someone's
vibe,
or someone's vibe is off, or someone's energy is off, or whatever. Yeah, like that's what that means. It's not just something that we're all just kind of like saying, right?
Assuming
but it's really exactly.
exactly.
But it's really like if you're really conscious, or whoever is really conscious about all that, you start to. I've been in many situations where you are conscious and you start to feel you feel different people's energy. You'll know exactly. You're like, I'm not gonna get along with them.
Yeah.
Or there's something, and that's fine. But then that's when you are aware of it. Yeah.
Especially when you're a person that exerts a lot of energy.
Exactly.
Right? And you like, and it goes back to like when you love yourself and you have all that abundance of love and energy just kind of radiating out of you. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people may like either just take it all or repel it.
Yes,
right. You
yes.
know what I'm saying? They'll bounce like a magnet, right? Sometimes you put a magnet on opposite sides, right? They repel each other, right? So I think that's a lot of the energy is the same thing. We have like an aura, a field around us, and they kind of like don't get my bubble kind of thing. But they bounce, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, and there's many. I know you guys too. I know already. Like there's certain people that we already communicate, and we understand each other, but we're like we just can't be around each other.
Yeah,
like it's just like it's okay. And that's okay that I can't. We're not vibing.
Yeah,
just for whatever reason.
Yeah,
our frequencies are not the same.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, just because some people like you don't get along. You're just like your energies don't click.
Yeah,
doesn't make you that person a bad person or you a bad person. You guys just don't fucking click.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's okay, because you're not gonna. The thing that people, and I know like this is one thing that I learned to kind of like get better at, because I used to be, I still kind of am, but not as much as a people pleaser. I want everyone to like me.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. A lot of people have that issue.
And they might not even realize it.
And I actually didn't realize it at the moment until I stepped back. I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking people pleaser. I want everyone to like me. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, not everyone can fucking like you, nor are you going to get along with everyone.
Yeah, you have to accept that.
You have to accept that, and that's just a part of life. You know what I'm saying? And like some of the decisions and some of the ideas that you get, are going to not sit well with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see that everywhere in life.
Yeah, not everyone has to agree with you, not everyone has to like you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And then on the opposite too, like, I would say, like, even with us sitting here, right?
Yeah.
When like I feel like my energy with your guys' energy now it's like a big energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
we're feeding off each other.
Now it's like
it's give, take,
receive. And now it's like us.
Exactly.
It's like a bigger aura, right?
And this is the kind of energy that you want to partake in.
Yeah,
you want to be in communion with. Is people
because it's bouncing.
Exactly. People are gonna like kind of continue that energy in a cycle.
Yeah.
Not saying not just like I'm gonna give energy and just. You're just gonna stick with it. You're not gonna give it back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You gotta replenish.
Right. Exactly.
Give it take. Yeah.
Exactly. And I believe like you can reach a point where you're functioning at such a high vibrational state where you're just repelling all the bad shit.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Aura, your energy.
Your energy is like
strong.
It's too strong for anyone to fucking throw you off your game. But it takes so much self-awareness.
Yes.
And it takes you like a lot of work to work on yourself.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of it has to do with is being aware of those people, and as soon as those people like kind of step into it, you kind of learn how to like take a step back and like,
yeah.
You stay the fuck.
You notice those energies, like you said, you notice the energy from the get-go.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Not even that you notice it, you feel it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like it's just like kind of you feel something kind of pushing you, or something that is not said, but you just kind of like you already know that like something's pushing you, or, you know, away or whatnot, right?
Exactly. So it just you just gotta be sensitive to these things.
Yeah.
Is be very aware and like try to be very aware of how certain people make you fucking feel, and not just people, but like you know, when you listen to certain music, be aware of how you feel when you listen to certain music. If you listen to fucking sad music and you're trying to be happy, it's like
it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. If you're trying to be happy, you gotta listen to shit that's gonna make you feel happy. And same thing for like music, for like TV. Is that you gotta be very conscious of what you're consuming and what you're watching on TV. Like obviously, we all have our guilty pleasures. Me, when I watch TV, I try to watch shit that is conscious, that is like it has purpose, and that's like a huge one. Like the thing now for me in the last couple of years is like whatever I do, I want it to have purpose. I want it to be meaningful. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it just to be mindless. Me just doing something just for the fuck of it, just to get into my pleasure. Add a pleasure. Yeah, exactly. To get distracted. Exactly. Another thing. Like if I'm gonna go buy something, I'm gonna buy it because I truly need it. And you know, sometimes you know you want it because you like it. Yeah. But more or less, I want it to be because I need it. Not just because out of pure impulse. I
want it to be able to help me grow. Something's gonna help me, you know, grow. Or learn, or something beneficial. Exactly. Not just something just to consume that I don't need. Exactly. You know, things that I just can distract myself with, right? Or numb myself, right? Exactly. Right? When you're just watching stuff and you're on this binge of, you know, or probably a show you just barely started watching. Right. You're not even really watching it, listening. Right. And you're on your phone and you're just kind of like, where are you really, you know, like mentally, you know, or, you know, where's your mind at? You know?
Exactly. And all these things lower our vibration as human fucking beings because you're not living in the present moment. Like as we talked, it's like if you want to raise your vibration, you gotta live in the here and the now. Like for example, right now we're living in the present moment. We're opening this this dialogue and this conversation, talking about shit that really matters and it's important and has purpose with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like is stepping out of that, out of you know what society has told us is the norm, and kind of stepping out of it, questioning it, and asking yourself like, does this, you know, belong in my life? Does this sit well with me? Yeah. Or do I need to make changes to make sure that certain things are more aligned to who I am and aligned with my purpose?
Yeah, because a lot of it's like even with music, you know, like some people just turn on the radio and they don't look for music. It's just given to them.
Exactly, you know?
Exactly. Like when you turn on TV, right? You can, you know, use this tool or this thing that's a part of our, you know, every day, right? And find those podcasts, find those you know, things that are going to help you grow and educate you and help you learn instead of just, you know, putting on whatever random show or putting on whatever music and just listening to all these commercials and, you know, all these things, right? You know, just kind of, you know, while you're driving and then you start thinking about all these things. You're not putting your attention, right, to the things that are going to help you. You're just kind of like all over the place.
Right. You got monkey mind. Yeah. I don't know if you heard that. So there's monkey mind. Is you're basically letting your mind and your thoughts control you.
Like kind of like monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's whatever's coming into you is just kind of coming at you.
Yeah. So you have no control over your mind and what like your thoughts. So what we're trying to do now to raise your vibration and energy is you're trying to make your mind an ally, and get it to work for you, not the other way around. So right now it's basically your mind is controlling you. You're not controlling your mind. So you're trying to master. You're not trying to become. You're trying to master your mind. You become a master of your mind, because once you master your mind, that's when things start to change. Yeah. You're not just doing shit like you said. You're not just doing things mindlessly. Yeah. But you're doing it with fucking purpose, because you know what I'm saying. You're doing it. You're doing it with intention. That's a word, keyword. Underline that motherfucking shit. Intention. Like for example, when you wake up, don't wake up straight for your phone. A lot of people do that. Go for their phone, or they wake up and they just do it because they're run on this automated system, like automatic out of habit. Instead, like when you wake up, a way to raise your vibration right from the jump is either start your day with a prayer or, state 3 things that you're grateful for. You can either say it vocally, or you can write it down. You can meditate, like I said, you can meditate. You can
visualize it.
You can visualize it. You can fucking drink water when you get up. Drink a glass of water. Energize your body right away. Drink water.
Love cold water.
Another thing that I've been doing is I've been going to the gym at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's hard. That's things that like,
dude,
you have to be disciplined. You know?
I'm gonna tell you, it is like there's some days where I don't want to fucking get up, but I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna get up.
Mind over matter.
Mind over matter. Yeah. Exactly.
I train. It's
the heat. Yeah.
And that's hard. It's kind of like when those things.
Eventually, it gets easier.
It's like taking those cold baths and showers. And
I should take a cold shower before I came. Yeah.
So it's kind of like I guess it's part of like the comfort zone too, right? You want to stay in bed. It's easy to stay in bed. It's easy to take a warm shower, right? You know, but getting up early, taking that cold shower, or either before or whatever after to work out, right? That's discipline. That's where you kind of like have that discipline of your mind over your body, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you think about it, when you start your day off like that, accomplishing something that you really want to do that's good for you. Yeah. You set your standards like up here. You set your goal fucking higher. You're like off to the start. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm crushing today. And that's how I feel when I come home from my workout. I feel fucking fresh. My mind, I just have clarity and awareness. I'm like, I'm ready to go after it. And I log on for work. Yeah. And I'm like, let's do this. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And the way you start your day is basically how your day is gonna basically be for the rest. Yeah. The energy.
It's like kind of how like they say, like I believe in the army, they wake up and they do their bed right away. Yeah. They're trained to do their bed, Yeah, because it's like, you're to get in the habit of I'm gonna get up and do something, and I already did my bed. It's kind of like if you always see your bed has been undone for all day, you kind of like there's still something you have to do,
Exactly.
And then you're already kind of like I already didn't do this, now I can already not do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you just get into this ripple effect of like, where you're just like it's whatever because you didn't start off. Well, hey, I did my bed when I got up. Now I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna go do that, and now you're just building on the good, ripple, of like I'm gonna do. My day's already going. My expectations up here.
Exactly. You're just carrying that fucking momentum throughout your day.
I can attest to that because my dad's military, my father's military. Yeah. And to this day, we all still like get up. Yeah. And do our beds. Like it's a thing, but that's because of what he taught us. Yeah. But going back to the hertz. Yeah. Yeah. Like, so we have the 432 hertz. Yeah. And then we have the 440 hertz. So that's what we talked about so far. Yeah. So far, 432 hertz is what we say it's like the vibration, the hertz of the earth. Yeah. Right? And what they say is more to us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
More and then we have this 440 where it's a standard now that apparently it's universal, right? And so it's a standard universal because now everything has to be tuned to that. So it's from what I understand, it's the A right in the middle of the piano, and that's 440 hertz, and everything that's got tuned there. So, which is why pianos all sound the same. So instruments all have to be wherever you are in the universe, in the world, in the universe. Apparently, things are real. Yeah. They are. And that's why a piano that's in like say Canada or it sounds the same as it is in China and in the States, and so. Yeah. With that being said, so we wanted to dive into like a little conspiracy between those two since we're talking about vibration and
I love conspiracy.
Yeah. So we were again, like you said, we're conspirety theories enthusiasts.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah. We're not out there starting conspiracy theories, but we research them. We like to do that stuff. So
we keep them going.
Yeah, we like to like just kind of it just and I thought it was like perfect since we're talking about vibrations and we're talking about hertz and we're talking about energy. I was cool to kind of dive in between these two, the 440 hertz and the 432. Yeah. So the thing with the 440 is that it allegedly, right? It's like it's considered like a sinister hertz, like about it. There's something sinister about it, right? I think you said in your like it's considered
disharmonic.
Disharmonic.
And it's said to believe that they use it to try to manipulate, control the masses, with the 440 hertz.
And so it is said like so just just go into just a little bit of conspiracy theory. So put on your little tin hat. So it is just for a little bit though. So it is said that the Rockefeller Foundation, if y'all could research Rockefellers, they're like, they're really big. There's a lot of subjects on conspiracy theories about them. So the Rockefeller Foundation wanted to make sure the U.S. adopted the 440 hertz standard, which you said in 1935, because it's part of a war on consciousness, right? Mm. And so which is leading music industry into like a musical cult, right? And so theory is turning all the music into like a military weapon. And I think earlier we had talked about we have doctors and we have medical stuff that procedures that use ultrasound to break up your kidney stones without penetrating, without incisions. And we also know that the military also there's weapons out there that use sound to do that, right? It's because it's like a form of torture, right? Or those sounds, those pitches that that you don't want to hear, or even with dogs, they hear certain pitches that we can't hear, right? But why is there certain sounds that that ringing noise, right? Stuff like that, because we have our brain waves, right? Or a perfect example too, when you're playing two songs at the same time and they're overlapping. Isn't that kind of like, oh my god? Sometimes you're like, just turn it off. It feels like your mind is scrambling, right? Your mind is scrambling. There are times where in the mornings, or even I don't want to listen to music. I like the radio or whatever. I just want quiet because it's just like I don't think I need that right now. Right? Mm-hmm. So another fun fact is so we're gonna go back to talk about the Nazi propaganda. So they said that that they use the hertz that they use to disperse the propaganda is 440 hertz, because they said it makes you a prisoner of certain consciousness. So again, 440 hertz consciousness, right? And so because that's what's the easier way to mobilize a population. So if you all know about the Nazis and what they do and how Hitler took over, that propaganda was one of the things that helped him take over, basically. What he did. So to spread his message of propaganda, they were just kind of hammering people with those sounds, right? It could just be him talking, whatever he was saying or whatnot. But then probably the background, or it can even be subtle. It doesn't have to be when you go in the store and you hear music and you're like, oh yeah, I can hear it loud enough, right? It's probably something small that's tapping into your brain. Exactly. And your mind, and if we're talking about frequencies and vibrations, your mind, I think, is going to remember. It's like muscle memory, right? You're going to remember something that you heard all day, long, and then now you're going to dream about it, right? And now it's going to be in your subconscious because that's tapping in. And it's funny that you say that, because even when I watch horror movies, I get fucked up dreams, bro. I get when I sleep about murder, fucking killings, and shit like that. Weird stuff, that's what I'm saying. For me, that's just what affects your vibration. Right. So now, if I want to have a really good night's rest, I won't watch a scary movie right before. For sure. But it's interesting you say that, because I feel like they do that with certain sounds, the 440 hertz and whatever. I feel like that kind of puts your guard down, and in a way, it kind of bypasses all that, and then it gets you to your subconscious, so then they can program whatever. And now they're talking to your subconscious, not your conscious. But now look, that's the 440 hertz is the standard for everything for our West. That's what they play in our music this day. It's called that's what they use in the Western music. Well, if you think about it, and I mean, I'm not gonna say all music, but in a lot of music. What are we really talking about? What is the music industry talking about nowadays? Right? Yeah. And I feel like the music industry now, a lot of things are just manufactured. It's not even that's when it comes we were saying earlier, houses with soul. It's got. Have you noticed that a lot of it's been sampled from music from the past? Exactly. And now music that's now, I don't think a lot of people would sample it because it. It sounds the same. It sounds the same. They're trying to spread this message in your head of the only things that you got to be worrying about nowadays, whatever they want to talk about. And it's getting to your subconscious, know? Exactly. And why are people acting a certain way? Why are things changing? Why are we questioning all these things that have to do with, mental, how we think, right? Or even mental illness and certain stuff like that. It's a concept of penetrating your mind with these sounds to
to put the seed of a message.
Yeah.
Basically bring your guards down.
Yeah.
Like what you said about the different kind of music.
Exactly.
Like, so say like what you say like with heavy metal, like you know, it does something to you, right?
Yeah. Certain sounds like.
And it reminds me of the movie Inception.
Yeah.
You seen Inception?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that fucking movie.
Yeah.
How they had like certain triggers. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Triggers. And I don't know if you see the
That's
movie.
the machine. That's the machine they use. Yeah,
That's
the
the
machine
machine
to use to, yeah. It's like one of my favorite movies.
That's crazy.
So a cool thing that I did yesterday, and I told you guys, is a cool thing that you guys should do. It's go Google or YouTube 432 hertz versus the 440 hertz, and so and what they do is they give you different samples playing at the different hertz, and then what you do is you kind of decide which one what it is, and so it's a really cool test, and they also have music now. Coldplay. See now I remember.
It was Coldplay?
Yeah, so Coldplay was they said I forgot what song it was. Coldplay. It was one of their like the mainstream ones, and they played it at 440 hertz, and then they said, okay, listen to that, and then how do you feel? And then they go, okay, this is at 432 hertz. How do you feel when you do this? Like, and they tell you that. So that's something that's really cool to do. I had fun. I got one wrong because they tricked me because they put one sample. Well, it's like they give you 4 samples and they give you 4 cases, and each case had 2 samples, and then you had to like decide which one it was which, and one of the samples or the cases, and it had both of the same 440 hertz. So I was thinking like, oh, okay, it had to be either or.
One's different.
But yeah, so that's how I got that one wrong. So it's super cool. I want you guys to try it out and do it too.
Now, when it was different, was it like did it sound like different pitch?
Yes.
Or was it?
It was like 440 hertz for sure. Because that's something that apparently we all been listening to. Yeah, it is louder. It's a lot more. I don't want to say aggressive, but it's just like it's in your face. Full. Yeah, it's full. Yeah. And then they tone it down to the 402. It is a lot chill. It's like it's stuff like that. So that's how I was able to quickly tell the difference. I'm sure you guys are going to pick it up really fast too.
I was going to say, did you feel a difference internally?
No, right. Because so
like did like 440 hertz, like it just didn't sit right. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, 440 hertz. It's like so for me, like I like if I'm listening to something like it's in my ear, I don't like anything that loud. I started, especially if I do have my earphones in, I'm like, or I'm listening to something or I'm watching something, I start to like, dude, I'm getting anxious, or so I turn it down because I have to check myself.
Yeah.
So that's like it does make you feel like I don't know like why I feel like this. I was like, oh, it's too damn freaking loud in here.
It's like uncomfortable.
It's very comfortable. I do that throughout the day all the time because when we work, I'm listening to things. I'm like, dude, why the hell am I like listening to this so loud? Because it's like fucking with me, right?
Yeah. And have you ever noticed that like when you listen to something too loud, and let's say like there's like either like a whatever instrument, like a snare or a kick, and then like it's like really loud, and then you kind of like twitch.
Yeah, you twitch.
Yeah.
So you're just like, dude,
you're
it's
like, oh man, turn it down. It's because your body like it reacts. Ears, it goes to your brain, and your brain's like, what's going on? You know, our ears, right, are receptors, right, to like keep us alive. You know what I'm saying? Our senses, right? So I think if something's loud, it might your body's kind of flinchy because it thinks like, whoa, there's something around it that like, whoa, watch out.
Yeah. And some people like it loud. Like everyone's a little different. I don't like anything loud. Some people like watching TV loud. Some people don't like watching TV loud. It's so like so then that just goes to show like, okay, so that's what it is like. So it's like 440, it's like really loud. Yeah. It's like louder than, and you could totally tell the difference of 432. And you're like, yeah, why does it have to, it's still clear. It's you're not like, it's not like in your face. Yeah. It's the same song. It's not like, banging in your ear and you're still there. But then this 440, it's like, like it's loud. So I really hope you guys like really do that test.
I definitely check that out.
And then, but I guess like, and then that could just go into next to what we're about to talk to next, and staying on those two. Oh wait, I might as well just bring in the last one, the 5. Before we get into this one, so then there's another hertz I wanted. So we have the 432, the 440. And then the one that I'm like really intrigued about, and I know we brought it up, it's the 528 hertz. And apparently this one's supposedly like the revolutionary. Like, okay, like I was like, all right, calm down. But I mean, like, but they call it. It's called the key of love, and it's also called the
538,
528.
Oh, 528.
528, and it's also called the love frequency. It was like what? And so the difference between like, so we have 440 where we say it's considered like it messes with you. It's like it's too loud or it's like it's controlling. And then you have the 432, which is more to us, and it's more like the hertz is more vibration, is more to us, and it's like chill or like right. And then we have this 528 that apparently, or like even this one 432 is also like considered spiritual in a sense, right? Because we have like things from the past that that gives off that.
Yeah.
But we have this 528 that apparently this brings up it brings together, it connects your whole body, your heart, and your spiritual essence, basically your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And so
you heard it here first, right?
Yeah.
DeLaRadio, mind, heart, body, soul.
So like seriously, like, and I thought that was like super dope.
Connects you.
Yeah, it connects everything. Versus, you know, so you kind of see like the difference between just those three, right?
Yeah.
And so just look into that. I know I'm gonna look more into it, and I just thought that was like super dope.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
And so, and then to stay on just those two, because I know we're about to talk about our mantras and stuff like that, and just pertain to these two, which I feel like is really interesting because we were just talking about like what 440 does, like what they use it for, right? It's to weaponize, to control people, and so it says like for the chakras, it says anything like songs tuned to 440 hertz. Work on your third eye, which is right here, which is your thinking, which is I'm thinking too. But we just said like when it's too loud, it messes with right. You flinch, and you're just kind of like. So I thought that was really interesting because it's like okay, so so 440 hertz, it works on your third eye, and then also like even what we say about the Nazis and what they use it for, and like the